Hi guys, I am. I hope you're able to see me and listen to me properly. Hi guys, am I audible and visible to you? Just give me a thumbs up if I'm audible and visible to you. Okay, great. I think I'm audible and visible to you. Hi guys. Hi. Right. So hi, welcome all of you guys. Hi Yash. Hi Ananya. All of you guys. Welcome to today's session. I can see guys you are live. So guys, today is just an bit of an interactive session, which I'll be kind of interacting with you guys and kind of sharing some of the things. But I hope you're doing good. So there are 6 months to go. So yeah, just give me a thumbs up, all of you guys who are. I hope I'm audible and visible to you. Right. So how is everything going, guys? Okay, great. So we have around 24 people who are kind of watching me at this moment of time. So hi, welcome all of you guys. So guys, today we are going to talk a bit about the strategy for the NEET PG exam, about the first reading and the revisions and everything. But the bottom line is I'll be just trying to tell you what exactly you might be going through at this moment of time. So yeah, just stay along. We will talk about it. So, well, yes, I hope that we are already around half year is gone at this moment of time. And I hope you have planned your studies in such a way that your first reading of all the 20 subjects or 19 subjects, it's going to be over by the end of August, guys. Okay. So I hope that you made a plan. Let's say in the start of the year, you stick to it, you wavered from it, but ultimately you were able to plan and kind of put it in such a way that your first reading would be over by the end of the August. And yeah, and I hope you're revising it side by side. So if at all you have any doubts regarding about the first reading or the revision, just put it up. I will kind of talk about that, but I feel that many people would keep on giving you the advice on these particular things. So rather than what I want to say, I want you to ask, and then I will put my kind of things over that. Okay. But by the time, what I'll do is I'll just explain you something, guys. Okay. So yeah, I hope you are following this particular thing. You are planning to complete your first reading by the August, and the revision you are doing it side by side, or maybe you have planned this particular revision. But what I'll tell you guys is many times we make timetable and everything, but it is not that useful because we know like 90 95% of the times we don't stick to it. So I actually was listening to someone and I came across a very interesting slide which I wish to share with you. It's kind of a story, so I'll just tell you. But this is what exactly happens in our brain when we are basically trying to do, right? So I'll just talk about this particular story for the moment, and then I have a couple of slides in which I'll be talking you about how to do a revision effectively and all these particular things. We will talk about the technical details, but let us kind of talk about something which you guys must be facing, which is fun, but it is true, and it is not just limited to you. It is kind of thing with everybody. So don't panic, but yeah, you need to understand this particular thing so that you can take steps to kind of overcome this particular thing. So there is a theory which is called as, let's say, in our mind, what do we have? We have three different people, right? So they say that in our mind, our mind is basically governed by three different things. One is basically called as this reaction decision maker. This is a part of the brain which kind of thinks properly and takes the decision, keeping the best interest of our mind. Okay. So let's say you have your NEET PG exam, which is coming up in the January, right? So your reactionary rational decision maker will tell you, okay, you have to study like 6 hours a day. You don't have to waste time. You don't like, you have to put things systematically. You have to be sincere in your studies. You have to revise and everything. And yeah, this is what your kind of rational decision maker of the part of your brain will tell you that. But we all have one kind of a sweet little spot which is called as this instant gratification monkey. Now, what is this instant gratification monkey? So, you know what? Taking up a book and reading it for like 6 hours, quite boring, right? Quite boring. But if at all, let's say I tell you that, okay, let's go and watch a movie. Okay, let's go to a restaurant. Okay, or let's play a video game or something like that. These things have been designed in such a way that as soon as you do it, instantly you get a gratification, instantly you feel better. So most of the times what happens, this rational decision maker, this is basically kicked out, and the main steering wheel of your brain, this is most of the times in the hands of this instant gratification monkey. So whatever the decisions we take in our life, most of the times they are not in the best interest of ourselves. Okay, they are really not in the best interest of ourselves. We just tend to do it because this is something which kind of happens with most of the people. Do you get this point? So this is something which is happening with most of the people. Most of the people feel happy by doing certain things which bring them happiness instantly. Now, if you just compare the happiness or the satisfaction which you will get by, let's say, watching a movie or kind of watching a particular series or anything, right, Money Heist or something like that. So, this, if you compare it with the happiness you might get by kind of getting, let's say, top 50 rank in the NEET PG, obviously the happiness which you will get after getting a NEET PG rank of 50, that is much more. But our mind and our system, this is basically designed in such a way that most of the times we take decisions taking into regards this instant gratification monkey. And as soon as the exam comes near, let's say August, September, October, November, then there comes another character which is called as this panic monster. So this panic monster, this basically wakes up just near the deadline. Okay, just near the deadline, this panic monster kind of wakes up, and then we try to do things in a very, very fast manner, and we just try to make it to the deadline, which is obviously not good because the quality will not be good and you will not be able to do things properly. So the whole point of showing these two particular slides is that in your mind you have all these three parts. You have the kind of a rational decision maker, you have the instant gratification monkey, and you have the panic monster. What you want to do is that you have to kind of voluntarily and deliberately take decisions, and you have to consciously use the rational decision maker part of your brain more actively, and you don't want the control of your steering wheel to be in the hands of an instant gratification monkey. I hope you get this particular point, guys. Okay, now these slides are not made by me. This is something which I kind of saw in one of the talks, but yeah, I thought it must be very, very useful for you guys. So it is not just related to NEET PG, guys. It is basically related to each and everything in this particular life. Okay, in our daily life also, this is something which is very, very important. Okay, so this is, you have to focus on this. Now in the next part I'll be talking about how we do the revisions and everything, but before this I'll just go through the questions which you guys have asked me. So how to do a side by side revision? Okay, I'll definitely talk about it. So how to tackle the inconsistencies of the time management? Yes, okay. So I had asked you a question regarding the plus subscription in yesterday's T&D. I was actually asking if, suppose I want to watch all the kind of a diseases of CVS only on pathology, but in plus they have integrated. Okay, chilling. Okay, right. Okay, what I am asking is a separate videos given or all integrated. Okay, I could find separate videos. Okay, right. So hi Vedant, I'll definitely get back to you. So by the end of the day, by the end of this talk, I'll definitely get back to you. Just kind of stay there. Yeah, right. Okay, now let's talk about this particular thing. Okay, so now let us talk about how to revise efficiently. Now, each and everyone who you meet, they basically tell you that, okay, revise, 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 revise. Okay, we all know, like, you know that we have to revise. Okay, you really know that you have to revise, but how to revise efficiently? Okay, so there is no one way. If at all you ask first 10 toppers, their method of preparation, somebody would have read on the iPad, somebody would have read on the physical notes, so it is entirely different. Everybody has their own way of revising, everybody has their own way of kind of reading. So there is no one single path which you have to stick to. But yes, I'll just share a couple of things which you might kind of correlate and which you might kind of think. Okay, right. So right. So the point is, what you need to understand is there is something which is called as an active recall, and there is something which is called as a space repetition. So I'll talk about these two terminologies. Very, very, very important. Okay, so everybody tells you to revise, 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 but there are two ways which are scientifically proven, which will help you in revising properly. So what is this active recall all about? Okay, what is this active recall? Now let's say you want to revise surgery. Let's say you want to revise esophagus. Okay, so one way of revising the esophagus is that you just kind of pick this particular esophagus up, like you pick up your notes and you start reading like the line by line, achalasia cardia, what is it all about, what will be the clinical features, what will be the diagnosis, something like that. Okay, so this is something which is called as a you just take up your book and you start reading it again and again. And this has been a traditional talk, like most of the people tell you that, okay, as many times as you can read the notes, that is perfect, that is something which you need to do. But the research and kind of many instances have shown that this is actually not the best way of reading, because what happens is that you have read this particular stuff n number of times you have read this, but what is the problem? The problem is not that you don't know this, the problem is you're not able to retrieve it out of your brain. Do you get my point? So you have to exercise your retrieving part of the brain. These muscles you need to kind of exercise a bit more. So this is where the active recall comes into play. So let's say you want to revise achalasia cardia. How to revise achalasia cardia? You can just kind of think about that particular topic. You have the notes in front of you. Okay, you have the notes in front of you. Do not open it right away. Just kind of in your mind think, okay, I want to revise achalasia cardia. So in your mind, try to run that particular story. Try to kind of tell yourself, okay, what is the definition? How will the patient present to you? What are the investigations available with me? How will I investigate? Okay, if I investigate, what is an investigation of choice, which is the first investigation? Okay, how will I treat it? Okay, so without looking into the book, try to run the story inside your brain. And once you're done with this, now you can open your book and you can cross check whatever you kind of recollected. Is it kind of right or wrong? Or if at all you missed something, now you can kind of read it from your notes. Do you get this point? There is a very, very slight difference in this. In the first part, what you're doing, you're just kind of opening the book and you're passively reading it. In the other part, what you're doing, you're asking yourself question. Okay, so you're asking what is that particular disease and everything. So you're forcing your mind to kind of retrieve it from your brain without kind of actively looking in front of you. Because many times you must have noticed this. Whenever you come out of the exam, you say that, okay, the paper was simple, I knew everything, don't know why I marked it wrong, or by mistake I marked it wrong, or there was something which is called as a silly mistakes or something like that. There is nothing called as a silly mistake, guys. Okay, so yeah, I mean, the point is the silly mistakes are made by everybody. Okay, they are made by everybody. These are called as a human error. We all are humans, right? So yeah, that is what is called as a human error. So even the topper commits a silly mistake. Okay, so if at all you would have heard from the interviews of the toppers or something, even they would have said that, okay, they committed, let's say, 2 or 3 silly mistakes. But when these kind of silly mistakes they increase to 15 or 20, your rank basically drops down to around 2000. And if at all these particular silly mistakes they increase to, let's say, 30, 35, 40, then your rank basically goes down to 1000, like 10,000, 15,000, or something like that. Do you get this point? So what you need to do is that by using this particular process of an active recall, it is easier said than done. You have to spend time over it. But if at all you do this, it will try to this will basically reduce your silly mistakes, if at all you call it that. Okay, so this is the first point which I wanted to tell you. Another point which I wanted to share with you guys is about the space repetition. Now, what is this space repetition? So are you able to appreciate this? Okay, just kind of focus on this particular curve which I am highlighting with the yellow. So this is what is called as a Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. Okay, so as you know, like if you read anything today, you retain it 100%. But let's say I ask you after 3 days or something like that, you will be able to tell me only around 25-30% of whatever you have read today, if you have read it only once. Okay, and by the end of 10th day, this will drop down to, let's say, 10% or even less than that. Do you get this point? This is what is called as a Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. This is not made by me. This has been kind of plotted after hours and hours of research by this is a thing which is called as a Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. You can try to Google it up. So what this particular research says that if at all you plan your revisions, if you repeat whatever you have read over a period of time, a point will come when it will kind of retain in your mind, and this will basically go into your long-term memory. So how do you want to do that? If at all you have read something today, plan the revision at a sooner cycles. Do you get this point, guys? So it is a common tendency that students tend to kind of read, and then they say that, okay, I'll start my revision in the month of November, or like I'll start my revision in the month of August or something like that. You don't need to do that. Let's say you have read the esophagus today. So what you need to do is that you have to plan the revision of this esophagus, let's say after 1 day, then you have to plan it after 3 days, then after 5 day, and then after 10 day, and 30th day. Do you get my point, guys? So this is how you need to plan your revision. So if at all you read one topic today, you have to repeat it after 1 day, after on the 3rd day, on the 5th day, on the 10th day, and on the 30th day. If at all you repeat on such frequencies, there is very, very high likelihood that it will enter into your long-term memory and you will retain that particular thing for a prolonged period of time. Do you get this point, guys? I hope you understand this. Okay, so again, this is easier said than done, but yes, if at all you're able to do this, this is very, very important. So many teachers and many people are basically talking about this particular space repetition nowadays. It is a proven method. Again, it is a proven method. The revision doesn't start in the month of August or something. It basically starts immediately. Like, as soon as you complete one particular subject or one particular topic, you have to kind of repeat it after a few days or something like that. Do you get my point? So for this, you'll have to divide your day into 2 parts. Okay, so like first part would be your new reading or something like that. The other part should be devoted to your revision. Okay, first part. Now, okay, now about the time management. So guys, it varies a lot, because let's say if you're an intern, you must be having a hectic schedule. If you're a post intern, you must be getting bored by home by sitting 24 hours or something like that. And everybody has a kind of a different routine and everything. But what you need to understand is that it really doesn't matter whether you read on the morning, you read in the afternoon, you read at night or something like that. You have to devote at least 6 to 8 hours per day, at least 6 to 8 hours per day. And that should be your own revision. Okay. It is not about attending classes or something like that. You yourself should devote at least 6 to 8 hours. Out of that, let's say around 4 hours for the new reading, and maybe let's say 2 hours for the revision or something like that. You have to do that, guys. If at all you don't do that, might not be helpful. Even if you are able to devote 6 hours, it is more than enough. But you have to devote it without an exception. Without an exception. I mean, you have a mild fever, you have to read it. You have some kind of visit at your home, you have to read it. You're not feeling good, you are in a low mood, you have to read at least 6 hours without an exception. If at all you're able to do this, this is something which you learn. You cannot do like that. You read for 4 hours for 4 days, 6 hours continuously, and then you take a gap for like 4 days. Not happening. Really not happening. I hope you get this particular point. So many people ask me how much amount of time. It depends on your routine, but in some way or the other, you have to manage 6 hours, 4 hours for the new reading at this stage in the month of July, 4 hours for the new reading, 2 hours for the kind of revision, whatever you have did. Do you get this point, guys? I hope you get this particular step. Okay, right. Any doubts, any questions, guys? Okay, so right. So guidance for someone who has started preparation in the July from scratch, please. Okay, Srinidhi, just understand one thing. It is impossible that you would have kind of started your preparation from scratch. I mean, obviously, you have done your MBBS. You in the first 6 months, obviously, you would have read something or the other. So it is not like you have started your preparation from the scratch. I don't say that if at all you start today, you will get, let's say, first rank or something like that. Maybe not possible. But even if you kind of start dedicatedly from today, there is very high chance that you can get within 1,000. You can definitely get it. So guys, what happens, what I have kind of noticed is that as the exams near, okay, as the exams come near, many students get into the anxious mode. They become anxious. They are getting fearful exam, what rank I'll get, which city I will land up in, will I be selected or will I be not selected, or something like that. And because of this, what happens, they end up studying less, and they end up kind of wasting their time more. They find distractions in the social media, they find distractions in the YouTube and everything like that. So if you come away and watch, maybe it is a bit helpful, but let's say if you watch some video like the music video on the YouTube, obviously it is obviously a time waste, right? So do you get this particular point, guys? Do not let this happen to you. At this moment of time, things will be good, things would be calm. But I'm sure like 80% of you guys will suffer from this particular anxiety as the exams near up. Let's say in the month of August, September, or something like that, you might face it. So first and foremost, you have to prepare your mind in such a way that you should not land up into these anxious states. Okay, very important, guys, because I've seen so many students underperform, and this is criminal, guys. This is absolutely criminal. Now, if at all you don't know stuff, that is still fine. It is okay. If you don't know the stuff, you're kind of not able to attempt it in the exam, acceptable. If you know the stuff, if you have read it, and you kind of go into the exam and you put the wrong answer, not it is not a justice for you guys. Okay, so this is absolutely unacceptable, and for this you have to kind of prepare your mind properly, because what happens if at all you enter into anxious state, you're not able to revise whatever you have read properly. Okay, first point, and you end up underperforming, and this is very bad. You should not do it. Coming back to your question, what if you want to start at this moment of time? It is still possible. Concentrate on your weaker aspects, start giving the grand tests, assess which are your weaker subjects, and then you can definitely do it. So now the point is, you will have to act smart. Like, you have to focus on the subjects which you don't know, and you have to focus more on the subjects like anatomy, biochemistry, because they're volatile and everything. And from a subject, it's okay if you don't read the rarest of the part, but at least the basic, like the 80% of the most commonly asked topics in that particular subject, you should master. So it is possible. It's a bit difficult, but if at all you're sincere, you can definitely do it. Okay, I hope you get this. So can I study more than two subjects in a day? I would say that you should stick to two. Like, maximum you should stick to two, not more than that. The only reason is because it becomes a bit difficult. Like, because what happens whenever you take up a new subject or new book or something like that, we are trained in such a way that we try to read the things which we already know, and we try to avoid the things which we don't know. Like, it's same as our life, right? I mean, we try to avoid the things which we are fearful of. Okay, we try to find our comfort zone in the places which we already know. So don't do that. Try to focus on the two subjects per day, and kind of try to focus on the parts which you don't know. So let's say you want to read surgery. You should ask yourself question, which part of surgery you don't know at all. You should start from that. It is not like every time you should have to start with esophagus or something like that. Okay, I hope you get this. Right. Now, sir, what about the practicing MCQs during revision? Absolutely important, Ananya. MCQs are very, very important because let's say you have read Achlesia cardia. I'm sure you must have read Achlesia cardia more than 20 times since the first day of your MBBS till today. But until unless you solve the MCQs of that, you will not be kind of knowing, right? I mean, which is the part of that achalasia cardia which you don't know, or something like that. So there should be a balance between you solving the MCQs and kind of reading that particular subject. I assume that you would be solving MCQs from the start of the year. If at all you're not, still it's okay. One thing which I want to stress on is, guys, is a grand test. Okay, is a grand test. It is absolutely important for each and every one of you to start giving grand test if at all you're not giving. Okay, why grand test? Because this will actively help you in the active recall. Okay, so grand test. Now, grand tests, what it will do is, let's say you have read biochemistry in the month of February, you have not read it after that. So in the grand test, you will be forced to recall the stuff which you have read in the month of February. Very, very important. Don't be under the impression that okay, I will first complete my all the 20 subjects and then I will start giving the grand test. Not happening, not happening. You have to start giving the grand test today. And once you give a grand test, how do you want to give it? Let's say you solve a grand test of 300 questions today, right? So what you want to do, you have to read all those 300 topics. At least you have to browse through all those 300 topics. So let's say you give 3 years grand test in the morning. The entire day you should spend in kind of revisiting those 300 topics. Only then that particular grant test will be helpful to you. And I strongly kind of suggest that at least once a month you should start giving a grant test today, like from this July month. I hope you get this point, because I've seen that many students do this particular mistake, that they don't kind of give the grant tests. I'm preparing for the Maru, but some of my subjects are still remaining. Okay, Bharat, so you can continue doing that. Try to finish up your subjects till August. That would be very, very beneficial. Right. Being in the study ground, study evolution, something I feel and wasting. Uploading all these, how do I focus on? I did not get it. Like, what about updating in Instagram? So you end up wasting your time on Instagram. Is it like that? Okay. Grant tests you should give at least once a month. You can give twice a month, okay, but not more than that. Okay, not more than that. You can give like at least once a month. Are absolutely essential. You can give twice a month. That's my answer. So, Chaladio, just tell me what is your question. I did not get your question on the Instagram thing. Okay. So I hope you get this, guys. If you have any other questions, do ask me. So these were the kind of a few things. Start revising, start giving the grant tests, focus on the active recall, and focus on the space repetition. If you are just joining me now, you can watch it in this particular video. You will be able to understand this. Right. Okay. Now, another important thing is, guys, I will tell you about two apps which can be beneficial for you guys. Okay. So one of the apps is called as a OneNote. What is this particular app? This is what is a OneNote. Okay. What is this? This is OneNote. I'm sure you must have heard about this. Have you heard about this, guys? So I'm sure all of you having an Android or an iOS phone. So you must have you heard of this OneNote, guys? Have you heard of this OneNote? Now, this is basically an entirely free app. Okay, it is an entirely free app which you can basically download on your kind of Android, or basically your basically you can download it on your Android and iOS. Now, what you can do, how you can use it. So one of the ways in which you can use this is, guys, let's say you have all the classifications or you have important images. So in this OneNote, what you can do there, it's a very, very systematic app. If you want me to do a detailed video on this OneNote, please put it on the comment box. I will try to do a detailed video on the OneNote, but I'll just explain it in the short. What exactly is this? If at all you want me to do the video, put it on the comment box, not on live chat. Put it on the comment box. Okay. So about this OneNote, what you need to understand is that there are if you kind of visit this particular app, it is very, very simple. It's free of cost. In this, what you can do, you can arrange your images, you can arrange your classification systems chapter wise. So let's say 1 month before the exam, you don't kind of need to hop from one book to the other or something like that. If at all you are watching some video, you have some good slide, you can take a screenshot, you can put it on these particular OneNote. Do you get this point? So your all the high yield stuff will be systematically put on one place of all the 20 subjects in one app. It is entirely a free app. Please try it out. You can try to use it. It might be beneficial. And some of you guys are asking like how to maintain the focus. So for this, you have an app which is called as a Forest. Okay, it is called as a Forest. It is again a free app. Okay, it is available on both Android and iOS. Now, what is this Forest, guys? Now, as soon as you open this particular app, you can set up a timer. So let's say 25 minutes or a 50 minutes, whatever the timer you want, you can basically set up. And if at all you leave this particular app and go out of this particular app, what is going to happen? Your tree, this particular tree which is forming, this will kind of die. So just by this particular intention of yours to keep this particular tree alive, you will stay on this particular app. So you can just start this particular thing, put a table on the phone, table or something like that, and you can start reading. Do you get this point? So this will actively inhibit you to kind of switch from this particular app to the Instagram or WhatsApp or something like that. Do you get this particular point? Just try to use this for this. Or what you can do is, if at all you don't want to use this, a very, very simple method is put your phone on the bed. If you're studying on the table, put your phone on the bed, or maybe put your phone on some other room. And then let's say after 1 hour, when you take a break or something, you can walk down and you can have a look at whatever the messages or something like that. Do you get this point? So one app is basically to concise all the things. The other app is basically to increase your concentration or something like that. If at all you want me to do a detailed video on these, just put it on the comment box. I'll try to. Okay, right. Now, okay, I'll just kind of cover the questions. So, due to the repetitive COVID duties, it has become impossible to study. I get it. I completely get it. Um, right. That is something life. Nothing is perfect in life. Everything is screwed up. So you have to kind of deal with whatever is coming. No point cribbing about it. I get it. It's difficult. That's the need of the hour. You have to do it. And nothing is the end of life, guys. I mean, I really hope that you guys get in this particular time. But even if you don't, I I'm not here to demotivate you. I'm not about that. But see, understand, guys, life is much bigger than one NEET PG exam. And if at all you start reading for this particular thing with a joy, a sense of joy, with being fearless, like whatever happens, screw it, I'll still do it. I'll do something very good with my life or something like that. You have to keep that particular attitude. Otherwise, you will be back down. So I get it. COVID must have been challenging, but that's completely fine. Just stay focused. Try to read whatever you can. Like let's say you have 4 hours a day, 2 hours a day. Try to use it. Try to use it to the maximum. Okay, that is something which is very, very important. Okay, right. Now another important thing is repetitive COVID duties. I get it. Yes, Priyanka, I have. Uh, right. Okay. Okay. Sir, find an academy. Right. I'll get back to you, Priyanka. Just give me 1 minute. Right. Strategy for November aims, guys. Just understand one thing. Strategy for November aims. So, guys, it's absolutely great to get into aims, no doubt about it. But please do not keep aims as the focus. Keep NEET PG 2021 as your focus. No matter how brilliant you are, that particular day can change everything. So if you're destined to go in there, you will definitely land up there. Don't worry about it. Okay. So the strategy should be you should finish first reading of all the 20 subjects by August and then keep on revising. You should complete 2 revisions before your November aims and 1 revision before your NEET PG 2021. That is something which I would suggest to you guys. Okay. So please keep your focus, like your primary focus should be your primary focus should be uh, your primary focus should be kind of your NEET PG 2021. Okay, I hope you get this particular point. Okay, primary focus should be NEET PG 2021. So my ranks are not increasing despite giving the grant test. How to overcome this? Okay, so if at all your ranks are not increasing, that's fine. Focus on the score. Okay, first point, and then. And that's why I told you, like after giving a grant test, you have to dissect that particular test. How many questions you knew and you marked wrong, okay, and how many topics you have never read before. Okay, so these are the two things which you need to kind of take from that particular test. If at all, let's say out of 300 there are 60 questions which you knew, which you kind of have read properly, but you marked it wrong, not a good thing. Okay, so what you need to do, try to reduce on these particular stuff. Why this is happening? Because maybe you have not practiced the active recall, or maybe you have not understood that particular topic in detail. First point. Another point is, let's say in every grant test there are 20 or 30 topics which are you have never heard of. Now out of these, 10 will be bullshit topic, like just for the sake of troubling you, they would have put that particular topic. Forget about those. I mean, that's completely fine. The chances of that coming in the NEET PG are very, very less. If at all you have already covered most of the things, you can go ahead and read all the topics. But yeah, I mean, focus on the important topics of whatever the topics you have never ever read. Okay. So let's say there is some question on the suture you have never heard of. Go and read it. Absolutely important. But let's say there's some weird syndrome, new syndrome you have never heard of. It might not be asked in an exam or something like that. So you have to kind of give the weightage. Now, my funda is in every subject, in every exam rather, there is an 80-20 rule. Like let's say there is an exam of 300 questions, at least 80% of the questions, or rather 90% of the questions will be so those which you have read at one point or the other. You have read at one point or the other. Do you get this point? Now, 30%, like 10% or 20% of the questions will be entirely new, but those will be new for everybody. So what do you need to focus on? If at all you're able to kind of master those 80%, you are among the top 500. So try to conquer the basics first. If you have already at that particular position, you can go ahead and conquer the remaining stuff. How to use the grant test? You have to dissect it. You have to kind of completely dissect that particular grant test. It is not just important just to give a grant test. You have to dissect all the 300 questions. You have to see why did you make that particular mistake. Did you know that particular topic? You did not know that topic or something like that. I hope you get this point, guys. Okay, right. Now, sir, can I stay consistent with a study? Sir, why can I do that? Okay, so that is something which you will have to work on yourself. You can use this particular forest app in order to do that. Be self-motivated, guys. Just understand one thing, okay? So, like there are many successful people who basically say that if you know your why, like why do you want a good rank in NEET PG, okay? If you are clear with that particular thing, you will not need any motivation. You will not need some Pawan talking to you and trying to motivate you. Not possible, right? If at all your why is clear, why do you want a good rank in NEET PG? Okay, it can be anything. Like it can be you want to earn money, you want to get a really good rank so that you can go to the best of the colleges, or maybe you can get the best of the seat or something like that. It can be anything. Nobody is here to judge you, but you have to keep that particular focus. And the day you kind of find that answer to why, you will not need any motivation or something like that. So yeah, try to ask yourself, why do you want to get a good rank in NEET PG, right? I hope you get this, right? So, right, I hope you get this, guys. Now, coming back to the doubt, one of the a couple of okay. So first, before talking about so I'll just talk about that. Okay, so there are two students who have basically asked me, so you guys find Unacademy is very haphazard. I won't completely disagree, but you need to understand is that on the Plus platform, there are various courses which are being launched. So if at all, I'll just kind of break them out for you guys. Okay, so let's say you are someone who is kind of new, like you want to read a subject from scratch, follow the concise course, or you can follow the foundation batch course. These are the two courses which are from the scratch. They will be helping you guys. Now what we have done, because we got this particular feedback that most of these particular students are getting confused or something, so we have combined all these particular courses, and this is going to be launched in 1 or 2 days. It is called as an Operation NEET PG 2021. So at this moment of time, if at all you want kind of an academy to help you in your preparation for the upcoming NEET 2021, what you need to do is that just come and you can just follow this Operation NEET PG 2021 course. In this, most of the subjects will be covered in a revision fashion or something like that. Even I will be covering general surgery in 44 hours. I'll be revising the entire general surgery with you guys. So in this particular course, and at the same time, at the end, we have this MCQ marathon. So this is basically a crash course on the surgery through the MCQ marathon. In this, there are 15 sessions. 8 will be taken by me, 7 will be taken by Raja Mendenson, and these will be system wise. So like one session on the thyroid, one session on the endocrine system, one on trauma, one on something like that. Do you get this point, guys? So I completely get it. On when we do the lectures on the YouTube, when we do the lectures on the special classes, they're haphazard. I get it. Why? Because we have kind of kept the structured courses for the Plus platform. I will be very frank with you guys. Okay, in order to keep this particular platform kind of sustainable, we cannot give everything on the YouTube or the special classes or something like that. If at all you like the particular way of teaching or something, you can come on the Plus course, and there are very structured courses. If at all you are facing a particular problem in one particular course, you can message the educator. They will definitely guide you which particular course you can follow or something like that. Do you get this point, guys? Do you get this point? Right. So another important thing which I want to tell you guys is, okay, so yeah, Venkat, I hope you got your answer. If you still have not got your answer, please do message me. Please do message me. Okay, so Priyanka and Venkat, Vedant, I'm really sorry. Vedant and Priyanka, can you please tell me if at all your question was answered or not? Can you please tell me, guys? Okay, so yeah, please tell me. Now, another important thing, guys, if at all you are free, you can come and attend my free sessions, which are starting tomorrow. They will continue till 20th. Okay, so there are 15 sessions in all, and every day at 11 a.m. there will be a session as a special class on the Unacademy platform. So you'll have to download that particular app, right? Okay, so there are free sessions for 15 sessions every day starting tomorrow at 11 a.m. So please do come and attend it. There are 8 TND sessions, there are 4 image-based sessions, and 3 clinical-based MCQ sessions. Okay, right. Will all subjects be covered in the integrated manner or separately in the Operation EPG? No, please understand, Vedant. Integrated manner may there are only two or three courses which had been launched. Rest all the subjects are covered in the separately. So if you basically have a look at the foundation batch course, in the foundation batch course, already the videos are there. Like I am taking the surgery on the foundation batch course. I've covered close to 60 to 70% of the surgeries over. Around 30 years of the surgery still remaining on the foundation batch course. The rest, all the videos are available in the downloadable format. So the foundation batch course and the concise course, they are kind of a separate courses. They are not the integrated ones. Okay, so you can definitely find each and everything over there. No, no. On the Plus platform, it will be individually explained. It will be individually explained, right? So if at all you have any more doubts, you can just kind of message me up. I'll share my number with you, and you can definitely call me up, and I will have a word with you with that. If at all you want, okay? So you can just message me up. Just message me on the Unacademy or on the Facebook. I'll share my number with you, and you can basically give me a call if at all you want to understand. So please be rest assured, on the Plus platform, everything is structured, guys. Don't worry about that at all. It is very well structured. Okay, so guys, at this moment of time, we have like 6 months to go, and if at all you want to use Unacademy to kind of help you revise stuff, because as I told you, like as the exams approaches, many students become a bit anxious, and if at all you kind of want to overcome this, and you want somebody to kind of guide you through and walk you through that particular revision or something like that. For example, let's say you want MCQ practice or something like that. We are coming up with various sessions on the Unacademy. Okay, so if at all you want to join at this moment for the NEET 2021, a 6 month course that is basically of 18K. And if at all you use this particular promo code dr.pawan, it will be kind of available to you in 16K. So yeah, just have a look. If at all you find this anyway useful to you, if at all you're remotely interested into this, just click on the link below. You will be directed to my page, and yeah, you can browse it through. And if at all you want to take subscription, please consider using my promo code, that is dr.pawan, guys. Okay, so anything else, guys? Any chance of MBBS Prof exam? I cannot comment on that. I really don't know whether the MBBS Prof exams will be postponed or not. I really cannot comment on that. Okay. Right. Thank you so much, guys. I hope this particular session added some value to you. Just stay focused, guys. Be happy, stay focused, find your answer to that particular why. Keep reading. If you have any other doubts, just reach out to me, put it at a comment box or something like that. You can feel free to message me on the YouTube or an academic platform or something like that. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, have a great day. Happy studying and all the best, guys. See you soon. Signing off, Dr. Pawan. Have a great day. Bye.